All right, so over in the West, as I'm recording this, the West playing games have already been played. The 7-8 and the 9-10. The Lakers won, so they played the Nuggets, and the Kings won, so they play the Pelicans on Friday. So it won't let me predict who I think will win the play-in game, the last play-in game in the West. But I think the Kings will win, so I have a Thunder Kings series right here. I think the Thunder can handle them in about 7 games or so. I really did not expect the Kings to win against the Warriors. I thought the Warriors, because the Warriors have been playing really well towards the end of the season, and then the Kings, they haven't been playing so well towards the end of the season either. So I really thought that the Warriors were gonna win that, but I guess not. So the Kings are in the first round. I don't think the Kings can pull up an upset over the Thunder, but I do think they'll make it competitive and make it a really good game, especially if Keegan Murray goes off again for I don't know how many threes he shot that game, eight threes last night. Crazy. All right, so the Clippers and the Mavs, that should be a really fun series as well. Luka has played the Clippers twice already, in 2020 and 2021. And in both of those series, the Clippers won. I think it went to about 6 games for each series. But this time around, I think I have the Mavs, just because I think Luka has a better supporting cast this time around, and his supporting cast has been playing really, really well towards the end of the season. The Clippers have kind of they were hot in the middle of the season when James Harden got on. They started figuring things out. Kawhi's been healthy all season. Paul George has been healthy all season. But towards the end, they started to fall off a little bit. I think Kawhi is injured right now, or he's rumored to be injured. I don't know what's going on. And then Paul George hasn't been playing that great. James Harden, I believe, it hasn't been playing that great. Russell Westbrook just came off with an injury. So they're in a bit of a mess right now. So I think the Mavs can beat the Clippers in 7 games. I think that'd be a really fun series to watch. The Wolves and the Suns, I'm not really sold on the Wolves, honestly. I know they have the number 1 defense in the league, and they have been to the playoffs in the past 2 years, but they've been eliminated, either swept or gentlemen swept, by the Nuggets last year, and I forgot who they played the year before that. But yeah, I just don't trust Cat or Rudy Gobert in the playoffs. Maybe one of those two will finally show up, but I don't know. I think the Suns have been beat, and I think this could be over in about I want to say 5 games, but I'll give the Wolves credit and say that it can go to 6. So I think the Suns can win in 6. Now, a rematch of the Western Conference Finals from last year, the Nuggets and the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan. If I'm being biased, I could say the Lakers are beating the Nuggets in 4 or 5. Realistically, I think the Lakers will lose in about 6 games. Because one, I think, since the Nuggets are the champions, they have a target on their back. That means the Lakers are going to play a little bit harder on them this time around, so they can win at least 1 game. And I think because 3 out of the 4 games they played last year were within 5 points. So I think if luck is on the Lakers side, they can win another game in that fashion too. But the Nuggets have just been on the roll. I think Jokic might have the MVP on lock, even though I think Shea, if I were to vote, I would have voted for Shea, honestly. Maybe even Luka, but I don't know. I think the Nuggets got it in 6. Now over onto the East. The East play-in is about to start soon. The Sixers and the Heat are kicking off soon as I'm recording this. I got the Sixers winning that play-in game. So they'll play the 7th seed, I think the Knicks. And then over here, the Bulls and Heat Hawks can go either way. I'm gonna go with the Bulls just because I think they're more of a veteran team compared to the Hawks. And the Hawks just got Trae Young back, so maybe they can pull off an upset against the Bulls. But I think the Bulls got it. And then between the Heat and the Bulls, I'm gonna go with the Bulls just because I can't stand like this fake Jimmy Butler like run he always goes on the past 2 or 3 off seasons. I think it's time for the Heat to like kind of like blow it up or like figure something else out. I don't think the Heat are gonna do anything surprising. Even if they do, let's just say for the sake of argument that the Heat lock up the 8th seed and they play the Celtics. I think the Celtics got them. So I'm going to go with the Celtics in 5. I don't think the Heat are going to go on a crazy run like they did last year. The Cavs and the Magic. This is definitely one of the weakest matchups in the entire playoffs, I will say. Weakest isn't the best word. Maybe like not the most fun or entertaining from like a viewer standpoint. I'm gonna go with the Cavs in 4 just because I don't want to see this game go any further than 5 or 6 games. Like, let's just wrap it up in 4, and it could go to the Magic in 4 either way. But I'm gonna go with the Cavs just because Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, they all have playoff experience. This is the Magic's first year in the playoffs, and I think they'll wet the bed. The Bucks and the Pacers. The Bucks currently do not have Giannis. They said that they're gonna wait a little bit to see. Well, this is just me thinking. I think what the Bucks are doing is that they're just gonna see if they can beat the Pacers without Giannis, just so that Giannis can rest a little bit more. If the Bucks are like up 2-0, they're about to sweep the Pacers or whatever, then I don't think Giannis will play at all in this series. I think the only reason Giannis would play in the series is if the Pacers are beating the Bucks' ass. That's the only way I can see Giannis being inserted here. And I do think that the Bucks can beat the Pacers without Giannis. So, in how many games? I'm gonna say like 5 or 6, somewhere between there. I'll go with 6. So I did say that the Sixers could lock up the 7th seed, but if you go to the Heat, either way, I think the Knicks can win or beat either of these teams. They'll probably have more challenge beating the Heat, but the Sixers have won 8 of their last games with Embiid back. He did look like he was playing, like he didn't lose a step from like the few highlights I saw. So it would be a very interesting matchup, the Knicks and the Sixers, but I'm gonna give it to the Knicks in 7, just because the Knicks have been like really interesting all season long, and they have like an insane record when OG Anunoby is playing. So I would give it to the Knicks just because I want to see them. I just want to see how far they can go in the playoffs. Now this is a series where I think Giannis will play. I don't think they're gonna sit him out for that long. Personally, I think the calf strain injury might be a bigger deal than we think it is, because anytime you have a non-contact injury like that, it's the worst thing you think of is it an Achilles? Now, in the initial report, it was just a calf strain, but remember about 5 years ago, they said the same thing about KD. He had a calf strain, and this is when he was still in the Warriors. They said he had a calf strain. He was out for a little bit longer than they initially reported, and when he came back in that finals game against the Raptors, he tore his Achilles in like 11 minutes or so. So, if I'm the Bucks, honestly, I'm like, look, our season is over. We've had a terrible season all year long. The Dame Giannis thing didn't quite work out at first. Our original coach, I forgot his name, just wasn't great, even though he had a better record than what Doc Rivers' record is right now. Like, I think Doc Rivers, since he's been the Bucks head coach, has had like a losing record compared to the previous coach, who had like a 30-12 record, something like that. So it's just a mess. And plus, Doc Rivers hasn't made it out of the semifinals since like he was on the Celtics, when he was the head coach of the Celtics. So that's 10 plus years ago. So I don't think the Bucks are going to win this series. I think the Knicks got it in 6. The Celtics and Cavs, I think this matchup will be pretty tough for the Celtics. I mean, not like, I don't really see the Cavs beating the Celtics, honestly, unless, you know, God forbid, an injury happens. But I think this would be an interesting matchup for the Celtics. But still, I got them in like 6 games here. The Nuggets and the Suns. I feel like the Suns, they played each other like twice. Last year they played each other, and then I think the year the Suns went to the finals, 2021. Yeah, they played each other twice already. Yeah, so that's interesting. I think the Suns, they are a completely different team from when, you know, they first matched up. Same with the Nuggets even. But again, because the Nuggets are the champs, I think, you know, their path to the finals this year is going to be a lot harder. I still got the Nuggets winning, but I got the Nuggets in 7 here. Thunder and the Mavs. 2 young talents with Shea and Luka. The Thunder have a young core, but I have a lot of faith in their young core, honestly. I know when it comes to the playoffs, you know, it's like, oh, the younger team is like that's an easy out, you know, because you look at the Magic, like I said before, that's their first playoff series together. So that's an easy out. But with the Thunder, I don't know. I just feel like they've been playing so well all season long and they've been playing in a way where it's like they're not afraid of like anyone, honestly. Like, they went into Golden State and like Shea literally cooked Steph. He cooked Steph, bro. Like, these guys aren't afraid of anybody. So that being said, this will also be a very interesting matchup. It could go either way. It really could. But I'm gonna give it to the Thunder in about 7 games. I'll give it 7. There's like so many game 7s I've chosen so far. I feel like how many game 7s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 game 7s. That's got to be like a record or something. Okay, the West Finals. I want to say, I think this is the point where experience beats youth. So I'm gonna give it to the Nuggets, but it will be an interesting matchup. I do see this going to 7 games, so I'm gonna give it to the Nuggets in 7. I think at some point when you play the Lakers in 6 games, then the Suns in 7 games, it does become a bit taxing. So I think the only way the Nuggets will lose this game or lose any like playoff series is just because of how gassed they are. Not necessarily because the Suns outplayed them. It's just the Nuggets are gassed from playing like 7 games, 6 game series, like really tough matchups. So this will be an interesting like shakeup in the Western Conference Finals. I feel like the only way the Thunder would advance to the finals is if the Nuggets are just completely gassed at this point, because I got them in 2 game 7s or close to 2 game 7s in their previous playoffs. So now the Celtics and the Knicks. These are the 2 most interesting teams in the East, and I would really love to see this in the Eastern Conference Finals, as opposed to a Celtics Bucks series, or what else, like the Heat making it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals again. I feel like these two teams have played well all season long and deserve to be in the conference finals. So yeah, I think this will be the Celtics' biggest challenge against the Knicks. I'll give it to them 7. And then now my finals predictions: the Nuggets and the Celtics, the 2 best teams in the league all year long. As a Laker fan, I would hate to say that, the Celtics win the 18th or 19th chip of their franchise. It does look that way because they've won 64 games this year. So if I'm being realistic, if I'm being really realistic, I would say the Celtics would win the championship this year. But since I'm a Laker fan, I can't vote on that. So I'm gonna go with the Nuggets in 7, so they can go back to back. First time since the Warriors in 17 and 18. So yeah, I got a lot of game 7s. Hold on, let me count it out. I got a game 7 here, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 game 7s. That's crazy. I think the West Conference Finals, or just the West playoffs in general, are going to be a bloodbath just because of how competitive it was this year. Like literally, I think someone brought this up that the Kings, they won 49 games last year and they were like a 3rd seed. This year they won 2 less games than that, so they were like the 40s. They won 47 games or so, and they were the 9th seed. So just putting that into perspective is like so crazy. It's so crazy how much the West has changed, and it's only going to get worse because that guy on San Antonio, that guy's just going to get better and better. I feel like he might take a leap next year. Next year he might take that leap and start averaging 25 points a game. He's absolutely insane. All right, so boom, this is my full bracket for the NBA playoffs this year. I got the Nuggets winning the championship again this year. But who do you think is going to win the championship? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe for more videos from this channel.